Yeah, I felt like I had to make a video because this whole thing about Australia opening borders with New Zealand is fucking crazy, mate. Are you fucking kidding me? These cunts don't have their shit together. They've got fucking, someone told me they've got per capita the same amount of cases as New Zealand, but guess what? That's fucked, mate, because all their shit's spread everywhere. It's spread all around the fucking country. They'll never get rid of it. They'll never get rid of it. It's spread all around the country because the country of Australia itself should have split into little countries a long time ago. And I don't know if anyone on this that's listening or watching knows that, but Western Australia was going to be its own country at one point, and they had all these bloody fucking, independence people that wanted to be fucking independent and everything like that. And, I'm very excited and passionate about this topic because this is some bullshit. They've been pushing it in the media, on the television, on the fucking computer with the ads on the internet. Oh, fuck, we're going to open our fucking borders with Australia and New Zealand. Well, fuck that, mate, because, excuse me, but fucking Australia hasn't got their shit together, because not only do they have fucking cases everywhere, okay, but the whole fucking opening the borders thing is based on this tourism fucking thing. We need the money from them for tourism. Well, guess what, mate? We could open our borders with Taiwan, who's got roughly the same amount of people as Australia, and they've got more billionaires per capita than Australia. It makes Australia look like an absolute shithole, and Taiwan has got less fucking cases than Australia does. They've got less cases than New Zealand does. Why don't we open up with Taiwan? Why don't we have a Pacific partnership? Why do we have to do this bullshit with Australia? Fuck Australia. Fuck Australia. Everyone's saying, oh, we need to open the borders because we've got this relationship with Australia, a mateship, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, you mean the one that Australia's fucking shat upon for the last fucking 10 odd years? Fucking arresting Kiwis and putting them in detention centres on Christmas Island? Yeah, that's a great relationship. We really want to continue with these Nazi fuckwits. That brings me to the next point, is that they fucking model their government on the fucking CCP, on the Chinese Communist Party. They take pages out of the Chinese Communist book. Fuck, when you go to Sydney or Melbourne, there's cameras fucking everywhere. They've got cameras speed cameras that if they take a picture of you, and if you reach the next speed camera before your pre-approved fucking time that, if you reach there at a time where it's not possible for you to have reached there without speeding, they'll fucking give you an automatic ticket. They got automatic license plate fucking viewing devices. We don't do that shit here. We don't do that shit here. Australia is doing all this weird shit with tracking people and fucking tracking people's cell phones, tracking the COVID-19 cases. Fuck, we don't do that here, mate. We don't fucking believe in that shit. I'm pretty sure Jacinda Ardern fucking turned that down. So, I'm saying that we don't want any fucking part of that, mate. We don't want any of these weirdos that fucking, they don't believe in climate change. That fucking ScoMo homo doesn't believe in fucking climate change, even though his own country's on fire. Like, we want to distance ourselves from that fucking cunts. In fact, we should be, they're racist. That country's racist too, that white Australia policy, all that shit. We should be drawing the line right down the Tasman and saying, look, this is where the battle line is. Alright, it's Australia. We need to ally with fucking Indonesia, because Indonesia has a history. I know this is a dark history, and, I apologize to any Chinese people that be watching this, like ethnic Chinese, Han Ren and Huaren, because, the massacres and stuff in Indonesia and Malaysia and stuff like that, and the violence and genocide, blah, 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 I apologize for all that. But, Indonesia has a history of, these guys called freedmen. There's a good movie you can watch about it. It's like a documentary thing where they interview these blah, blah, blah. I don't want to go off on a tangent. But it's got a history of these guys, these gang, kind of like paramilitaries, gangsters and shit, that keep the communists out. They keep the communists out. They've kept the communists out. They keep the communists out. They're anti-Chinese CCP. They're anti-Communist Party of China, mate. They're anti that crap, which is not even really communist. I should make another video and talk all about this sort of stuff because I've done my research, read heaps of books, blah, blah, blah. But we don't want any part of that. We don't want to open up with Australia. We should open up with the Pacific Islands, and not Indonesia. I'm not saying we should open up with them or any open borders or anything. But we need to ally with Indonesia. We need to ally with the Philippines, with Taiwan, with all the islands in the Pacific, and also South America, you know, Chile and all these countries, because whenever the Chile people come to New Zealand, they're very friendly and they're lovely people, and we love them and they love us, and everyone loves each other, and everyone's a big happy family, except we don't want any Aussies, because fuck those cunts, man. Fuck that. Fuck that. You seriously saying that we're going to open the borders? We're going to save their ass? We're going to let them force us to open our borders, to let those stinky motherfuckers in here, to save their asses, because their economy wasn't even predicted to grow until 2050. New Zealand was the only country whose economy was predicted by the OECD or whatever to fucking grow into 2050, mate. Out of America, out of the UK, out of Europe, out of fucking, Australia, all these places, man. Canada. It was the only one. It was the only developed country. You know, like within the OECD or whatever the fuck, you know. So, look, Taiwan's on the up. Alright. New Zealand's on the up. Australia's going down, mate. We don't want to sink with them. We don't want to sink down to their level. We don't want that. Fuck that. So that's my fucking thoughts on opening the borders. No. Close the borders. Keep them closed. We don't need that money. We don't need the money from them. They're failing. They're going to fail. They're going to fail. We're going to succeed anyway, because we're growing. The OECD said we're going to grow. We're going to grow. Something's going to come up. We've got a lot of crap going on here. We've got heaps of shit going on in New Zealand, mate. And once we got our borders taken care of, you know, we can open pretty much back up on level 2. We'll be sweet. There'll be fuck all cases, you know. We'll be sweet, mate. We can open the whole thing up almost like business as usual, right? Once we get back to level 1, it'll be like business as usual. Everyone will be making money. Everyone will be happy. All these National Party supporters that wear suits and ties everywhere, and they all got bald heads and they're in their 40s and shit, and they got those stupid like black rim glasses. They can all get their coffees at their stupid coffee shops up in fucking Newmarket and Hobsonville and Parnell and wherever the fuck, blah, 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 blah. Everyone will be happy, okay? Everyone's gonna be happy. But if we open up to those dumb fucks that are like fucking authoritarians and they're fucking running their shit wrong and they've got cases all over their country and their country's too big for them to handle, and you know they got all this history of abusing their indigenous people and not fucking listening to them at all, okay? Not to speak about New Zealand's fucking record, but yeah, mate, I don't think that's a good idea. I think they're pushing it in the media like it's a done deal, like it's gonna happen. Oh yeah, we're gonna open up with Australia, open the borders for tourists. No. Look, anecdotally, I've hitchhiked all around New Zealand, and guess what? I've never been picked up by an Aussie. Not once. Never. I've never been picked up by an Aussie. And not only that, I've never been picked up by an Aussie that was driving a fucking camper van. All the people that are driving camper vans are always fucking, they're always European, or they're South American or something like that. You know, the tourists, they're always fucking European or something. The only time I've seen Australians in New Zealand tourists, they were in the bars starting fights. Okay, Australia Day in Queenstown. I was there for like 2018 or something like that. They were in the bars starting fights and they got knocked out. So I don't think we should open that. They're not going to bring much. They're boozers. They're alcoholics. A lot of Australians, you can look up alcoholism. They got a massive problem with alcoholism and domestic violence, and they got all sorts of problems in that country, and we just don't want that. We don't want that. We want to have a clean, green, friendly, Indigenous-friendly, multicultural, lovely, lovely, lovely New Zealand, right? Just like the wall that I've got behind me, okay? Which everyone has a place, and everyone's friendly, and everyone's happy, and, you know, we protect nature to a certain extent, and you know, tangata whenua and all that, and, you know, mixed with all the Chinese values. You know, Chinese and stuff are welcome in New Zealand, but not the Chinese Communist Party, see? We can't have these, like, authoritarian people that have adopted this Marxism crap, because it's been shown to be harmful to societies, and it's been shown to fail. We don't want that. We don't want anything to do with those Marxist motherfuckers, man. That's not Chinese. You gotta look up the Chinese. People think China, the Chinese Communist Party, is Chinese. Man, that's nothing. There's nothing to do with Chinese. That's Marxism. That's fucking some weird shit from Karl Marx. You know, if you don't know him, he was the son of Talmudic scholars from like 8 generations. You go look that up. There's a gravy train on that one, mate. We don't want anything to do with that. We want real Chinese values, you know, like Ren, like filial piety, and you know, like Taoism, you know, Dao Jiao, and things like that. We want the real deal Chinese, like the stuff that they preserved in Taiwan and they preserved in the Chinese diaspora. in places like Malaysia and Thailand, and even in the United States, in the Chinatowns and stuff like that. That's what we want here. We want that. We want that. We want everyone that's the good people, but we don't want any of the bad people, like the authoritarian Aussies and the authoritarian CCP that the Aussies take pages from their playbook and everything like that. And yeah, I just don't think that we should support them, because this whole thing about opening these borders, mate, is us basically bending over. It's a history of colonialism. It comes from colonialism. It's all this thing about the wars that we fought in World War I and World War II. Well, guess what? That was a long freaking time ago. And guess what? No one even treats that. The Aussies don't treat that with respect anymore. They've been arresting Kiwis and putting them in camps and trying to deport them and treating them horribly. And they've been described as Australia's Mexicans, you know. That's not a very good look for them, mate. That's not a very good look. Look, I got nothing against Australians. It's great. People will probably notice that I got a bit of an Aussie twang myself. You know, whatever. I'm not going to talk about that. That's personal. But, no, we don't want any of that, mate. We don't want none of that. Don't open the borders. Don't open the borders with them. Open it with Taiwan or you know, Taiwan. Perfect. It's got about 20 million people, just like Australia, something around there. Lovely. Let New Zealanders go to Taiwan as well. Maybe we could establish something where we go there, you know, and that way we can, you know, New Zealanders as a whole, we can expose ourselves to, you know, probably likely the next kind of dominant culture on the planet, which is, you know, behind me, the Chinese characters and things like that. Look, everyone in the comments, this is going to be very controversial. Everyone's going to either say, this guy's an idiot, he's on drugs, blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't use drugs, I'm just very passionate and excited about this topic. And, you know, other people are going to say, wow, this guy's a genius, you know, blah, 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 blah. He's talking about stuff in the future, because I am. I'm talking about stuff. We need to get on board with this stuff, mate. But we don't want to get the Chinese Communist Party Marxism crap. We don't want that. We don't want this neo-Marxism, fucking weird, authoritarian, totalitarian crap. Like, yes, it works in a way to govern such a big landmass. But, look, this coronavirus thing, this COVID-19 thing, has exposed that countries with big fucking borders like this, it doesn't work that well, does it? It doesn't work that well for them. It's not working that well for these big countries, is it? Like America, like the United States. Not working very well. Brazil, not working very well. This shit's just running away on them, because they've got this huge country and it's all disjointed. And yeah, it works a little bit better in China because they're totalitarian and they can say, look, you close this, or we'll bring you out and shoot you. Okay? Or your social credit score will go down and you'll be a fucking pariah for the rest of your life. But we don't do this shit like that in here. They're starting to do shit like that in Australia. We don't want to do that. We're on a different track, mate. We're on the track up. They're on the track down. We're on the track up. We're going up, 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 up. Peace.